Improvements in transportation, regional connectivity, and economic growth are some of the objectives of bridge construction. However, did you know that it is also a fantastic commercial opportunity? It goes without saying that toll revenue is a huge source of income for bridges. The two bridges that connect Windsor to Canada and Detroit to USA are two of the most significant pieces of infrastructure in the region of North America. These are examples of how profitable it would be to connect two strong nations. Because of their significance, there has been some form of competition to create the best bridge. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is the newest bridge to be built. It is on track to become the fifth longest cable-stayed bridge in the world and the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America, challenging the boundaries of engineering. By the end of 2024, the bridge should be finished, and once it is, it will increase capacity, improve network connectivity, streamline border procedures, and enable increased trade between the two nations. With $664 billion in trade, the United States and Canada have the greatest trading relationship in the world. Canada actually surpassed China in 2021 to become the US's top trading partner. Nearly a fifth of all trade is conducted between Detroit and Windsor, and this is the busiest commercial route with daily commodity transports between the two cities valued at more than $300 million. The number of vehicles crossing the border is anticipated to increase from 18,500 per day in 2016 to 26,500 per day by 2025. With the Gordie Howe Bridge, traffic between the United States and Canada will go smoothly. It will include modernized border processing facilities and new crossing highway-to-highway connectivity. Additionally, it will improve the efficiency of travel between Eastern Canada and Ontario, Quebec. The initiative will boost the local economy by generating 2,500 new jobs. Gordie Howe International Bridge will be publicly owned by the governments of Canada and Michigan. Currently, it is being built through a public-private partnership between the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority and Bridging North America. This project, which was first suggested about 20 years ago, is named after the late Canadian ice hockey great player Gordie Howe, whose illustrious career included 25 years with the Detroit Red Wings. However, Howe passed away 2 years before the bridge's construction got underway. Initially, the Detroit River International Crossing was the name given to the bridge project, which got underway in 2004. In 2007 and 2008, the bridge's construction received authorization. The bridge's completion was initially planned for 2016, but construction was put off after Canada rejected a $550 million commitment in 2012. Canada's federal government announced funding for the bridge's construction and contributed $25 million to the cost of buying land on the side facing Detroit. The following year, the U.S. Department of State gave Michigan and Windsor the authorization needed to construct the bridge. In 2015, Detroit Bridge Authority was chosen to manage the bridge. Parsons Corporation was hired to provide technical guidance and general engineering work for the new bridge. The Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority issued a request for proposals in 2016 for the design, building, funding, operation, and maintenance of this bridge. After meeting in 2017, newly elected U.S. President Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau reaffirmed their support for the bridge's expedited. The consortium spanning North America was then appointed as the project's builder in 2018. And soon after, a groundbreaking ceremony for the Gordie Howe Bridge was in place. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to LuxCraze for more fascinating videos. If you want to learn more about forthcoming mega projects, people's luxurious lifestyles, and fabulous goods and services, be sure to watch all of our content here at LuxCraze. The Gordie Howe International Bridge consists of 4 parts. They are the bridge by itself, the port of entry in Canada, the port of entry in the United States, and the interchange in Michigan. The Gordie Howe Bridge will span the Detroit River for 1.5 miles and have 2 approach bridges. On either side of the Detroit Bridge, 2 220-meter tall A-shaped towers will be constructed, and a pair of 425-meter-long cantilevers will be created in the center. In homage of the renowned hockey player Gordie Howe, the two enormous towers are shaped like the curve of an ice hockey stick. The structure will be supported by a network of cables that fan out from the two main towers, which will support the weight of the road. The construction of the pylons or towers' legs have started since 2019. In order to join their top and bottom members, concrete must be now poured. The pylon head, where anchor boxes will contain cables connecting the towers, and bridge decks will undergo the next phase of construction. Residents of Windsor and southwest Detroit will be able to see this phase, which was completed in 2022. The deck is expected to be constructed starting this 2023. When finished, the bridge will have 6 lanes for motor vehicles, 3 of which will go to the United States and 3 to Canada, as well as an 11-foot wide corridor for pedestrians and bicycles. Due to the fact that bridges all throughout the nation are nearing the end of their useful lifespan, this project comes at a critical time for American infrastructure. Building new ports of entry that will link to both the American and Canadian bridge terminals is another component of the Gordie Howe Bridge project. The largest Canadian port on the US-Canada border, the new Canadian port of entry will be constructed on a 130-acre site. One of the biggest border facilities in North America, the US port of entry will be built on a 167-acre site. Both ports of entry will have facilities for entrance and outgoing inspections, and the plazas are big enough to accommodate the addition of processing facilities if necessary. There will be 4 new overpasses and 5 new pedestrian walkways added to the upgraded Michigan Highway junction. To better connect I-75 with the US port of entry, major crossings will be enlarged to increase traffic flow for trucks and other transport vehicles. The anticipated overall cost of the project, including the architecture, operation, maintenance, and rehabilitation stages, is $4.4 billion. The remaining $1.5 billion will finance the stage's operations, maintenance, and rehabilitation, and the remaining $2.9 billion will be used to finance the design-build phases. Despite being a joint venture, Canada is paying for this massive project, therefore toll booths will be set up on its side of the border. Additionally, investors believe that the future toll revenues will let them recoup their investment in the project. There have been difficulties in completing the project. Although the state transportation authorities took possession of the bulk of the tall bridges over the Detroit River in the 20th century, there are still a few of them that are privately owned. One of them is the Gordie Howe Bridge, which is brand new and is only a few miles away from the 92-year-old Ambassador Bridge. The owner of the Ambassador Bridge, Manuel Maroon, has repeatedly tried to stop the construction of the Gordie Howe Bridge. He argues that it is unlawful since it trespasses on his family's property. However, we suspect that the main reason for this is that it would eliminate 75% of the traffic that is present in the Ambassador Bridge. When the Gordie Howe Bridge was first proposed in 2004, Manuel Maroon sued the governments of Canada and the US and spent millions of dollars attempting to pass a ballot initiative to delay permission for the new bridge. Back in the day, this commerce corridor was a significant source of income for Maroon and his family. He suggested that he build the second section of the Ambassador Bridge, which would be his property, and even went on so far as to broadcast a television commercial pleading with President Trump to stop work on the new Gordie Howe Bridge. All things considered, the Gordie Howe Bridge would be an amazing feat of engineering, notwithstanding this political conflict. It has the potential to significantly enhance one of the busiest border crossings of the world. Now, please share your opinions on this mega project down in the comment section below. Please like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of our content here at Lux Craze. See you in the next video.